Hi guys, we're live. Welcome to the Conversation podcast with Shanita and Chef Erika. We are
Hi.
so excited. It's something we've been talking about doing for a few weeks, but we really wanted to um, get on and talk about all things entrepreneurship, all things food from the perspective of our minority chefs. So I will let Chef Erika introduce herself, and then we will talk about Chef Kristi before we bring her on.
Sounds good. So, hi, I'm Chef Erika Klein. A lot of you know me as Erika Davis, but I've been around the world a little bit.
That's
I
okay.
have been a pastry chef for 30 years, and right now, the world has changed so much. So right now, I'm managing a coffee shop and also baking for other coffee shops, and enjoying my downtime and being able to share an evening with you. Really looking forward to our conversation.
Yes, I am too, because there's so much. There's
It
so
is
much
a lot.
going on. There's a lot, and I really want to talk about it. And I think that as this evolves, we'll move away from a COVID conversation. But I do
Right?
feel like that post-COVID food industry is at top of everybody's mind. And pretty much any conversation that I get into, people are like, oh, um, how do you feel? And for a long time, quite honestly, I felt depressed because it was so much going on, and you just didn't know from week to week to week how this was all going to play out. So how did you feel?
You know what? For me, I haven't stopped working. So I would love to have a week off. From even it's honestly it's more. I feel I'm quite stressed out because I'm out in the open. I Even though I wear my mask, I run a coffee shop. I'm in there 6 days a week, and then I come home and I bake for another 4 hours, or I'm at the shared kitchen. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And there's no time off.
Right.
Sunday is my day off, and I feel the stress of not being able to have a moment. I would really look forward to having a week and finish decorating my house and working in the garden. Did I tell you, girl, I got a garden in the back? I love it. I
I
know.
know
I know.
I've been a little horticulturist myself. I'm like an
Right.
old lady. My whole patio is full of pots of different things. And most of that was, yes, I wanted to plant things, but also if you guys have anybody's following me on Facebook, you know that was sheltered in with a 6-year-old extrovert. So it was pretty much just trying to figure out what the hell to do to keep her
Right.
off my case. That's why I call her my supervisor, because that girl stays on me from the moment she wakes up unless her eyes are closed. She's on my
She's a
case.
little boss lady. She's a
She's a
little
little
boss
boss
lady.
lady. She keeps
Yes,
being
she
like, Mommy,
is.
what are we gonna do? I thought you said you wanted to work out. I
That's
mean, I'm like, girl, okay, work
well,
out.
I'm looking forward to seeing what company she'll be a CEO of.
Her own. I'm raising
That's her own.
entrepreneurs, not employees.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, just a little stressed out only because I'm out in the open. I'm out in the open, but I stay safe. I don't go where it's not necessary. It's only essential.
Right.
I never really thought that coffee would be essential. You guys watch the
It's
stock
essential.
on coffee. It's
It's
amazing.
essential.
Yeah, it is essential. Yeah, for you. I don't drink coffee. I'm a matcha chai tea kind of girl.
I know you moved away from Earl
White
Grey.
House sangria. But yeah, I'm good though. I'm comfortable in my house. Just getting little things pulled together. I'm not as stressed as when I had blue chocolate. I was working 85 to 90 hours a week.
No.
So for right now, this is a calming moment, except for being out in the opening, dealing with the people that are back on the road. You guys, calm down on the highways.
Right.
Seriously.
Okay,
Um,
but so then that brings me to a good point. This is a good
yeah.
question. We'll ask Kristi this later, but I want to know. So, what everybody keeps asking us, aren't you ready to get back to normal?
There is no real thing as normal. As a
Right.
survivor, for me, as a survivor from Irma and Hurricane Irma in 2017, you learn that there is no new normal. I hate that phrase, new normal. You just move forward. You're moving forward and you're just, you know, uh, coming together and moving on with your journey. Your journey is just developing and moving on.
Right.
And you're just learning what is the next step.
Right.
We have to evolve and listen to the nature right now. I hear birds in the evening time. They're twerping. They're so happy. I can look up in the sky and there's a clear sky and not covered with planes all over the place or helicopters or small charter planes. It
Right.
feels very good to step outside and know that you're breathing fresh air. There is no new normal. This is just life. And that's how I see it.
Okay, so and if I'm being honest, which I will be honest, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
100% frank. My old normal was fucked up. And I don't know that now that I've had this time to calm down, that I want to
Mhm.
go back to that. I love to be busybody. I'm a busybody by nature, but that was something else. I mean, everyone always is like, what do you like better, late nights or early mornings? I'm like, shit, both, because they run into each other. I'm usually up late and getting up early. So
Yep.
I don't want to do that. I've actually had time now to take a deep breath and
Mhm.
think about like all of those things that you were praying about, like, oh, I just hate this thing, or I hate that thing, or I wish I had time to do this and I wish I had time to do that.
Right.
Those things and do them. And now, as I move into this next post-COVID phase, remembering how it felt prior to this, because I'm going to be honest, the first couple of weeks I slept because I was tired as hell.
Wow, good for you.
I didn't even.
I would love that.
You don't have to get up and go nowhere. Good. Sit on the couch and watch
Yeah.
Tiger King and all of the other ridiculous Netflix things that people were watching. And then I was like, okay, now what? Now
Well,
that
I really enjoy that and happy that you're able to breathe a little bit.
yeah.
And let me ask this one question. Your mind is going nuts, right? How
Well,
creative, how, what is coming
it's
out of
not
that
nuts.
brain
It's
right
like
now?
good. It's like good. It's not like I have been trying to finish my cookbook for okay, we're keeping it 100 years since
Mhm.
2017. I've written 2 pages since
Right.
2017. I literally set up work dates with my friend Monica on Sundays, and in like 3 Sundays, I was able to get the whole outline done, type it all up. It's all ready. It just has to get edited, and then it's ready to go off to an agent. That's something that I have been trying to sit my butt down, first of all, and just decide what the dang on book was going to be about. Because I had about 3 covers and never really could get down to what the book was about. And then I got it
Right.
finished. And then just doing some editing of my social media. Um,
Okay.
you know what? These types of situations make it really easy for you to find out who your people are. And
Mhm.
for like the first week or so, I was like arguing with everybody on Facebook, like, you just need to stay home and wash your damn hands. And then after that, I was like, oh, these people are stupid. I'm not about to spend the next 10 weeks freaking arguing with
Right.
folks about washing their hands and then just canceling events and tying up all that. I mean, I didn't, people were like, you want to postpone it? I was like, nah, I think we should cancel. And as
Right.
a individual private chef, like I'm with my daughter's health and my own health, I'm not really feeling the whole going into people's house and cooking right now. This is not something
Right.
I'm interested in doing. So that's a no. Um, and then just trying to figure out what the next thing is and doing things.
Okay.
Like this has been on my list. We've been talking about this for a long time.
We have. Yes. You're my for people. I don't think people really understand me and your relationship.
No, probably not. I'm
No.
you, but younger.
Huh?
I said
Who
I'm
you?
you, but younger.
Yes. You are me, but younger. And people, let me explain why I say that. Shanita has been in my life since she was 16. She came and walked through my kitchens and In Lake Ozark. Speaking of Lake
cry,
Ozark.
y'all.
No, don't cry. Speaking of Lake Ozark, y'all need to chill.
Cry, y'all.
So she walked in my kitchen at 16, this big eyes and eager to learn and sassy.
Scared to death. Scared to death.
She is my birthday twin. And that's why we say that she is me younger.
Yeah.
God help me. Looking back right now, I'm like, that was me. Like spunky, would not take no for an answer, very creative, gung-ho. You guys don't realize this young lady right here that we're speaking with, Shanita, Chef Shanita, has had how many restaurants? 3?
Yes.
3 restaurants, 2 food trucks. Her children, my babies, they all can cook. And if you're watching Chef Shanita right now, the youngest one cooks for her every day.
Yes.
And they go on live, and she's good.
She goes, yesterday, she's like, we need to make a live. The people have been missing us. I was like,
okay. And I wonder where she gets this from.
Girl.
Yes. So that's a little bit of our relationship. She will always, I call her my daughter. I call Shanita my daughter because she was my first culinary baby. And I fell in love with her from the day one that she gave me a hard time in the kitchen. Oh my God, yes, she is. I feel very, yes, you did. And I feel very blessed and grateful. You know, we found each other. Well, it took 10 years, 12 years later.
Yes.
That we came back into each other's lives, and we have not given up on each other since.
No.
No, not at all. And I can honestly say she's my first baby. And I'm so proud of her. So
and
very
you know what? Remember when I came to Grey Cliff and they were like, how do you do that? I was like, I just know. And they're like, I was like, yeah, who's making the tea? But nobody making the tea in the morning. I was like, listen.
Yes.
Well, want your life to be easy? Tea. And then I told them before I left that first time, I said, this person ain't gonna be here when I get back at Christmas. They're like, what? I was like, I'm telling you, they ain't.
You're so funny. Yeah, you know, you were telling my secrets. I didn't appreciate it.
Do you remember when the girl was frosting the the brownies? And you were like, you better go down there and tell her. I said,
well, sometimes, you know, my little attitude can come out.
It literally took all day to frost 6 pans of brownies. I was like, girl, do you like working here? She was like, yes. I was like, then I suggest that you hurry up and get done with these brownies. Don't let her come back down here again and see you still frosting these things.
Well, you know, I mean, time sensitive. We got to get stuff moving. And speaking of time sensitive, our guest, she's ready to come on.
Well, tell her to log on so I can put her in the room.
All right. Oh my God, that was my mother. Sorry, everybody.
Tell Mama to watch us.
I did. All right. I'm telling her to log on now. Hit the link.
Oh, look, I'm going to post some comments. Chef Steven said you're amazing.
Oh, I love.
Our favorite, and hopefully next week's guest. Kristi says, gorgeous girls. We can't wait to talk to her next week.
Oh my God, it's going to be awesome. And then having both of you guys on, 2 geniuses at the same time, you guys' IQ is like.
I just want her to talk. I'm just here to listen. Uh-oh, here she is. No, she did some lashes and whatnot.
You know, listen. Wait. You can't wear lipstick no more. Because you're wearing a mask. I'm trying to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried wearing lipstick in the mask. It was just I'm addicted to this.
Don't work.
It was stuck to my face. Chef Kevin says, hey.
Hey, David, we love you.
This is so good.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
To say.
This is so good. I miss you guys so freaking.
I know. We haven't had our normal February Seattle trip in quite some time. And if Chef Wayne is watching, it is all his fault. And he needs to figure that out.
Oh, it's real.
Do I need to hit him up right now?
It's his fault. It's Wayne's fault. And he needs to figure out how to get us all back in town. My February's not in Seattle.
I know. This has been years in the making. Like, we can't just stop now.
No, not at all.
We just gotta come. That's okay, because next February you can just come to the restaurant, right?
Oh. Hey,
we can do our own event.
We're ready.
I'm with it. You know I'm ready. And so is my supervisor. She's like, we haven't been to Seattle.
Oh Lord.
You know, the kids.
You know, she's there too.
The children's.
The children.
Oh, here, Vivian says, hey.
Oh, hey, Vivi. Look at the baby. She's not a baby anymore.
Not a baby,
oh, Lord. Okay, if you're going to get on up in here, say hi.
Say hi.
Okay, well, did you properly say hi?
Hi. Oh, how beautiful.
13.
Her voice is like, no, but she grown. She talking like she grown.
Yeah, she's a young lady now. We remember when you were just a little one, when she was Monty's age.
Exactly.
Monty's age.
Right.
You guys imagine Monty at 13?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm not ready.
I can.
You guys are signing out for a cent. Okay,
so while Erika is doing whatever she's doing,
I just popped on some light. I turned on some light. I look quite chocolatey. You know, I'm down here in Florida and it's hot.
And everybody clean your cameras.
Everybody, mine is just a little puffy anyway. So that's just my screen.
That's okay.
Yeah. So my chocolate maker is a whole world happy to see you smiling. Oh, Chef Stefan. I wonder where he is right now. Either he's in Haiti or are you in Jersey? Kristi, you've met Chef Stefan, right? Not yet?
I don't think so.
You know what? We just need to have a family reunion.
Basically.
Oh, I like that. That sounds much better than a summit.
Yes, we need a family reunion.
That puts the onus on everybody to participate.
Yes.
I can't stand you.
Everybody bring a potluck dinner. Bring a potluck. They have a family reunion, do a potluck.
I got ice and paper plates.
Right. I would love that. That sounds really great. We'll have to talk about that later because I'm totally down for that.
Okay, so let's get you in the conversation, Kristi. You have to tell us a little bit about yourself. I gave a little snippet of your long bio. I could have made the whole flyer about you, boo, but we had to get 3 people on there. So you tell us about you and what you're doing, and then we will just jump into this chit chat.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Chef Kristi Brown, and I am co-owner of That Brown Girl Cooks. We started off That Brown Girl Cooks by making,
you know it.
I started off originally as That Brown Girl Catering, but in 2012 we opened up That Brown Girl Cooks, and we started that by making hummus out of black eyed peas and selling it in grocery stores. Then shortly after that, the demand was so great for the catering that we had been doing years prior, that we reopened and started doing the catering again. So we do, we did, and we'll talk about that today, full service catering and bartending catering. And then about 3 years ago, we got introduced to a project called the Liberty Bank Building, which is a building in the Central District of Seattle that had been traditionally known as where Black folk lived. It was a red line district. For several years, Black folks lived within these corridors. And then as a result of gentrification, what used to be 80% Black folks is now 13% Black folks. And the lumber is going down as we speak because no one can live in that neighborhood because they can't afford it. So this project, the Liberty Bank Building, is one of kind of a regentrification effort to bring Black folks back into the community. It has 150 units in the top part of the building, and in the bottom building, where all the commercial spaces are all owned and leased by our, not owned just yet. That is part of the effort, but are leased by Black owned businesses. So we are the flagship tenant of the building, and we'll be opening really soon. And that restaurant is called Communion. So that's what we're doing.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you.
Damn COVID, I'm supposed to be with you in a few weeks.
Okay. For real. For real. Yeah.
I was supposed to be in there. I was supposed to be there for Juneteenth, but
yeah.
So you could tell everybody about the damn Rona and how she just fucking shit all the way up for you.
Why always gotta be a woman? Why does it?
I have an interesting take on the
Rona because it sounds like a woman's name, but maybe it's a man.
I think it's a man.
We're not gonna give the Rona a gender. Okay, I think that the Rona can be genderless. I think it's interesting. When I found out about the virus and its effect, that was on March the 4th. And the only reason why I could remember was because we were hustling. We had just hired on our assistant. We were getting in gear for catering season was gearing up. And we were about to do a 400-person sit-down dinner that following week. Yeah.
All right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We can all say a collective ouch, because you know, for catering, that the auction fundraising season is a big deal. Yep. And so we lost our first job, and it was so sad because it was an organization that we're really excited about, Seattle Jazz Ed. And what they do is they teach kids, and I think they even have adult classes to teach folks how to play musical instruments. And so we were really excited to do that. Oh, hey, Mom.
Hi, Mama. Aw.
But was really excited to be a part of the organization's largest fundraiser. And she really, the planner, she really was trying to hold out. So when she first called us, she was like, I don't know if you guys have heard, but you know, they're putting a cap on different events. And we were like, okay, hold on. So that was like the beginning. And so she called, and then we had a 300-person job later on that month. And then they called, and then they canceled. And everyone canceled. And as a result, like literally, if you were to look at our calendar, it was just like all the greens turned red. And everyone had to cancel their events. We lost about $60,000 in that first week. And honestly, I stopped counting of revenue. Let me be clear.
Right. There's a difference between revenue and income, people.
Okay. Please be clear. Please be clear. And so, you know, it hit, and it was like, okay, like this is not real. We gonna reconfigure, right? So we got everybody together. We hustled around this table, and we came up with all of these different, you know, what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this during the break, and thinking that okay, this is gonna be like
2 weeks. So that's not 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks will be good.
I would push it out just because you just don't know, you know, give a little room here, take a few here or there. But we just had no idea. And the thing I think about Damon is my son, and he's my business partner, Damon Beaumar, shout out. Woo! Couldn't do it without him.
Amazing. He's amazing.
He really is. And so we our minds are constantly going. Our minds are constantly creating and trying to find ways to grow, expand ourselves, our business, community. Just that's how we do. So of course, when this was all happening, we had like, if you look on my wall, we got like we used to the sheets and see all those sheets, and we got like to-do lists and what we're gonna do and how we're gonna plan and all of the things, you know. And at some point it was just like, stop. Go take a nap. Like, go sit down.
Right. At some point the plan became cinnamon rolls and cookie dough ice cream and leave me.
Exactly. And a lot of liquor.
Well, that liquor was the only thing, because this hit during Lent, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna give up all my other Lent shit.
Oh, good.
I'm just gonna not drink, but all the not eating sweets and don't watch TV and read all these books. I was like, screw that. I'm about to lay on this couch and get my Netflix on.
I think that was the way, though, right? Because it did happen during that time, and that was a time for you to like sit down and really think, you know, and really reflect and go in. I lost that Brown Girl Catering. I had to shut down that Brown Girl Catering in, when was it? 2009.
Right.
And that was also due to some, you know, like the .com crash or whatever, you know, whatever people wanted to say. What it really was as a Black-owned business, not being able to qualify for operating capital and loans and stuff. When everything was hitting folks, we didn't have anything. We didn't have no nest egg to back up on, no investors to be able to save us. And so we had to shut down. That was devastating. And so this felt similar. Like, this felt similar for me. And I didn't lose my composure because I was like, okay, well, Black folks been losing, right? Yeah. You know, there ain't nothing to say that something, you know, oh, we want to develop your land. Whoop, you gone. You know, so I think it's interesting, right? Like the way that this virus has affected Black business, especially Black food businesses, because what I see is we keep going. Right. Because you can't stop us because you was already trying to stop us. So ain't no use in trying to, you know, fold down now because of this situation. How do we regenerate and figure out how to move forward? And that's really what we did. So what we decided to do is transition into a community kitchen.
Which is amazing. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Girl, you're working hard. I mean, how many meals are coming out of that kitchen?
We are doing about somewhere between, depending on the week, 600 to 1,000 meals a week.
That's awesome.
It's a ton. Amazing.
That's awesome. Yes. But I want to ask you a question. So back to the part about, you said this felt similar to 2009, which, you know, for me, for a moment, it felt similar to making the decision in 2014, 15-ish, when the baby was sick. Remember, I had to decide, are we going to keep trying to fight this out and deal with surgeries and deal with, or am I just going to say, fuck it? You know, and I think that my response then, and I want you to tell me if you felt the same. So then I didn't really allow myself to feel what it felt. I just moved on to the next thing. And the next thing was, okay, so now we have the surgery coming up. And, you know, my whole goal and focus became her health, surgery, this, that, and the other, which is why the next restaurant, I believe, did not do well, because I never allowed myself a moment in between Magnolias on 29th Street and Magnolias on Holmes, and then surgery, feeding to blah, 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 to like.
Yeah.
I didn't. So, but this time I told myself, no, you've been here before. And,
exactly.
And you can't respond to this the same way that you responded to that then. You're going to have to allow yourself to feel and grieve and then plan and move forward. And I feel like I was different this time. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, man, I feel like, we are uniquely built for dexterity. Yes, and I mean, all three of us, right? All three of us. You know, and as we
more than people could ever
imagine.
Way more than they could imagine. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you at all.
No, I actually wanted you to talk because
I mean, I had Blue Chocolate working 85 to 90 hours a week. We had a full staff, me, Chef Jay. We were banging it out, trying to do the best that we could do in a neighborhood that didn't appreciate it. And then we closed it December 29th.
Thank God.
And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
And only God knew that was the best thing to do. That was the best thing to do, because I could not imagine right now struggling in the neighborhood that we had it in. It was a beautiful building. The food was great. The day that we closed it, we were named one of the top 50 restaurants in Jacksonville. So I closed on a good note and with my heart, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I could breathe. When I walked away, when we closed it, I was in Grenada with Chef Lisette. I was making chocolate every day, fresh cocoa beans, looking at the ocean, real blue water, you guys. But that was the best decision ever, because I can say this, I could not imagine right now having Blue and trying to survive. I wouldn't.
Right. And I feel like, I definitely understand that whole, like, taking a minute to grieve and feeling ourselves. One of the things that's fortunate is that because catering folded so early, like we start on the 4th, like I said, I would say that the restaurants and stuff probably started kicking in here about the 15th through the 17th of March. And so because Seattle was the first to hit, it was just like, everybody in the world is watching what you do. But I think after kind of taking all these ideas and we're going to do, this and that and the other, we just sat down for a minute and just was like, okay. And I don't honestly know if all the grief has kicked in. Like, I think that for me, because the restaurant we're on the heels of the restaurant, it's kind of like, that bounce back, how like when you have that rule of, where folks die and then somebody's born, it feels like that.
Right.
And the thing I think that I have on my side is that I've been in this game for a long time. So I do have more access to capital than I used to. So I can feel a little bit more confident about our ability to rebound, where a lot of my brothers and sisters don't have that ability. And I remember being in that.
We have to talk about that.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It was like it's a certain level of despair that I don't have to feel right now, because I know that there's lending agents I can go to that are supportive of what we're doing and will be like, and they were like when this all hit. Each of the organizations that we have financial relationships with reached out to us before we ever even talked to them. That's
unheard of.
Because you say that at this point, someone asked me about this and I was like, no, what you have to understand, people were asking like, why wasn't I clutching my pearls and like undismay when Shake Shack and Ruth Chris and those larger corporations were the first to get their PPP loans. I'm like, this ain't new. This is how the game is played.
Right.
But here's the thing. This is what I try to explain to people, that there's a hierarchy when it comes to prioritizing restaurants. And you can tell that by looking at who the administration put on their restaurant task force. Not one of those people is a small or micro business. Not one of those people is a business of color. So that already tells you where their mindset is. They're not even thinking about us. And I don't even know how it happened. Black women-owned restaurants just happen not to be at the very bottom, but we're just above like Asian and Hispanic and other minority-owned restaurants. So we're at the bottom, but not like all the way there. So we're used
but
to.
You know what? At the same time, it's amazing how our brothers and sisters are coming out the woodwork with grants. They may not be $10,000 or $20,000 grants, but here's 500 here, here's 5,000 here, here's 8,000 here, but they're coming along. I mean, allowing yourself to feel and grieve is important, and it allows you to see things clearly. I agree. That is Chef Vicky down in Fort Lauderdale. She owns a shared kitchen, an 8,000 square foot shared kitchen. She's feeling it.
Amazing. And she and her husband are so amazing.
Tommy, yep, they're so amazing. They're doing curbside. They had over 50 clients in their shared kitchen. I know I just changed the subject, but I don't know it's a quite lower number now. They're doing curbside with their companies that they have in their shared kitchens. There's one company, I can't remember the name, but I see them all the time. They're doing this fried ice cream. It looks amazing every Saturday. We love you too, Vicky. Then Vicky has her own spices that she's trying to launch. She has her recipe book. I can't imagine how many recipe books are about to come out.
Oh yeah,
in the next 18 months.
And they were just saying that cookbooks were dead and everything was online, and I'm like, not anymore.
And I think that speaks to really what I think this time is about. It for me has been a reclamation and a reaffirmation for me being on purpose. Like, you can flow through this thing, and being in food, you can get stuck. You can hellify.
You can be blocked.
It's really hard to leave because of the community and the benefits of being in that community. The freedom that you have to kind of navigate the world is a lot different when you're a cook or even when you're in front of the house, But the thing is that I knew that I was in this for a purpose and a reason. And one of the things that's been such a blessing to me was on Friday, I'm a part of a collective with 5 other restaurants or food people, I should say, because we're not on restaurants. And we had to turn in our bio for our business and turn in our personal bio. And so I was like, okay, it's time to upgrade, right? It's time to update. But I was looking at the mission of that Brown Girl Cooks, and I was like, oh my God. And people have asked us in interviews, what made you want to do the community kitchen? And it was like, we're already doing this. We've already been feeding people and introducing them to fresh foods and building community. This is nothing new. And the only difference is now either we're giving the food away because we are able to, when we first started, we didn't have no grant money. We just had a job for 400 people. So we just started taking
all those supplies.
And there you go. We have food. We had already started ordering, so we was ready, and then, the donations started coming in. People started just giving money, and then we got grants, and it just keeps going from there. But it's it really still is no different. We just want to continue because we know that gap is out there. And so for me, this has been a time to be like, okay, let's sift this flour and figure out what's really supposed to be in here and what's not. And it's taken this long. We're still sifting, but we're coming to a good place where we're clear about what we're doing, and we're even more on purpose than we were. We will come out of this in a much better position, much leaner, much clearer than we were when we got in. And for me, so for me, I don't. I don't work 6 days. I work 5.
Oh, good for you. Woo!
You know what?
That's awesome. But it doesn't stop. Even though you say you work 5, and people don't understand in the hospitality business, when you're a chef or when you're a business owner or a restaurant owner, cafe or whichever, it doesn't end. I mean,
because we're not in this for the money.
No, we're not. We're in this for...
You can't be in this industry. You can't be trying to get rich hustling food. It doesn't work like that because food is expensive, and the process of getting to that food is enough in and of itself to cost more. So it's just no way that you're just gaining a whole bunch of profit from this. You have to love what you do, or you're not doing it.
Right. Because as I'm approaching the big 4-0, I'm noticing that my rebound time is not what it used to be. And there's no way you would abuse your body and your life if there's not enough money. It's not for the money, because there's not enough compensation to voluntarily put yourself through what we put ourselves through on a regular basis. They're just not. But Teresa, for you, Kristi, is on the screen.
Okay. Yes, Kristi, do I find myself lending best practices to peers who maybe weren't operating with a community-based ethos? I feel like in the collective, that's what we ended up doing. Because we just came together, Chef Melissa Miranda, who owns Musang restaurant here in Seattle. we're actually neighbors. She's right across the way. She started this effort off with just like, okay, what do we got to do? How do we mobilize? And so through this collective, definitely, I feel like we've been able to share like that this is possible and that you can make this a part of your business model. It's going to take some work. It is a sacrifice. It's something different than what you were doing. You know, I mean, man, like Melissa, Chera from Hood Famous Bakery, these guys, Chef Tarek, you know, getting nods from James Beard, like getting all, you know, they're on the track. Now
Right.
we're feeding people free food. Like, yeah, that's not that's not what you spent all your time for 3 years trying to get ready to open this restaurant for. That wasn't what you're doing.
But at the same time, this is making you such a better person and a better chef.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God, because it's getting you ready for the future. Because honestly, God, we have no idea what is coming up next. But if you're taking your time and really breaking it down to what you're doing, is getting you ready. As you said before, you're sifting that flour and taking the ingredients or whatever in and out. You're going to be able to adapt so much better.
Right.
So much
to answer her question, I think that what's interesting to me is I really try my best to make sure people know that I want to be available. If you got questions, you know, hit me up, kind of just, you know, making myself open in that way. But I think that the scary part of the virus is how dull people have gotten because they're not working. They don't have to have that demand on their time. So thinking is a little bit slow, you know, a little bit cloudy. Like people are not working and operating at the same level they were before. And so it's like for me, although I am available and open for people to reach out to me, I feel like people are not necessarily taking advantage of that with me. Not that I want to be bombarded with 1,000 emails. I don't. But at the same time, like, I just think that, you know, I think a lot of people, it's kind of been a divide. Like, you know, there's those of us that are like, you know, what can I do to help with the total picture? And then there's a lot of folks that's just like, you know, me and mine. And I'm not mad at you. You know, I think it's all a choice and stuff. But at the same time, I just wonder, like, I feel like there could be more effort on folks' part to like get out of, you know, just kind of that me and mine, and we both can learn something because, you know, we had to cut down the community kitchen a week because it was like, hold up, you know, everybody's volunteering and working on hard and stuff like that. We need to slow down so we can take care of us. So I think there's gonna be more balance.
I was so proud of you when you did that because you go. People don't understand how much you go. You know, you wake up and you don't put your head down too late. And guess what? You wake up early in the morning, you do the same thing over and over and over. I'm not saying that, you know, you're not the only superwoman in the room, but at the same time, people really don't realize how much organization it takes and, you know, supportive team that you have to make what you're doing come true and for just to feed the thousands of people that you're feeding.
Right.
But I want to ask, I want to piggyback off of what Teresa said too, because I feel like as I'm looking at the consumers, right, it feels like people are looking at those community-based businesses and seeing how people really treated their employees, they treated their community during this time, and that's influencing money makers and buying decisions.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, again, it helps to know that we were doing this prior to, you know, the virus and all of that kind of stuff, feeding people at discounted rates, donating food to different organizations and efforts and stuff like that, and working with different organizations to partner to make these food possible. But, you know, man, look, this is a business. This is a business. So, you know, nobody's mad at the shine. Nobody's mad at the opportunity to be like, we've been here, we gonna be here. And know that because we made that stand that folks is gonna support us. and that's going to benefit us in the long run. We're trying to build a legacy. So that's the goal for this whole business is to build a legacy so that my children's children, like other communities do, they have something to start with.
There's a whole new conversation right there in itself that we have to come back on that one. Yeah.
Okay, Chef Vicky has another question for you. She said, being a small business herself, she finds herself having to help 70 small businesses and she doesn't qualify for any funding. So she's thinking about creating a nonprofit to help them further. It doesn't end. Do we have any ideas?
I've been in conversations with folks from the city. I've been like, yo, we're just like, we are adamant about making sure that that's cool that you're giving us money and that's great. But what about this business? And then, I work in and live and work in a mostly Latina community. And so then that's a whole nother conversation about when you talk about access to capital. If you only have a ITIN number, you don't have a social security number. I mean, like, there may be funds available to a lot of folks, but you're not getting there. So we've been involved with several organizations that have been really good about giving money to businesses that wouldn't necessarily qualify, or finding folks in the industry. The Plate Fund is one of them. There was another effort called the Big Table. They're offering grants for mental health grants to help pay for counseling, so folks in the industry can get help that way. Like in Seattle, we have it good. I mean, I want to say it doesn't mean that everything's equal. It doesn't mean that everybody is cool and stuff like that, because that's just not the case. But at the same time, I feel like if you're actively pursuing this thing, there can be some wins.
I think Seattle has they're so advanced compared to some other cities, though. Mm-hmm. When it comes to minorities, honest to God, that's how I feel every time that I go to Seattle, which is usually once or twice a year. And it feels like home. You guys open your arms and it feels like home. It's so diverse. It's yes, you got the yucky over here sometimes, but it's very loving and very kind. It's a beautiful city. It's clean. It's healthy. Everybody is aware of Earth and being Earth friendly. I mean, yeah, there are those negativities, but the positive outweighs the negative.
I feel that way. I'm sure hella people are on my feed like, what Seattle is she talking about? But
I'm talking about Seattle compared to the majority of the cities that I've lived in and I've been around.
Right. Hella is the one that we visit. So either they're on their best behavior every time we come.
You do get a good lens. You got some good people to visit. Right. I would say though, Vicky, she was just saying like, it's just not like that. And I'm sure of it that it's not like that. And I think that this is the time. Like if there's going to be a time around, getting folks together and saying, we're not standing for this no more. You're not going to just take our tax money and not make sure that we're taken care of. This is the time. And folks really, I feel like with small numbers can really affect change right now. And I definitely suggest folks do it, because really, what else you got?
This is one of those times where if it's not the squeaky wheel, then, it's the squeaky wheel that gets oiled. It's the group that has come together and is making the most noise and making the most issue. Because I want to go back to what you were saying about switching to a community kitchen. We have some places and restaurants here doing that, and we're in the Midwest, but let's call it the border South. But don't tell the other people from Kansas City, okay?
You know what?
They don't like to be Southern.
We have this conversation.
We'll just keep that between us. However, the issue is that you have these restaurants that have converted to community kitchens, thinking and going into it thinking, oh, this is just going to be people who are affected, only to find out these people were already hungry.
Right.
Prior to us starting this. We're doing the grocery giveaways now, and I was looking for just information. And I think in Kansas City, in the state of Missouri, they said an addition, it's gone up 39%. So 39% of this state is food insecure.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to start giving away in Wyandotte County. It's 18.1% of all children in Wyandotte County are food insecure.
Well, see, and that's the thing, like, you know, man, listen, that's the part. It's like all it is just showing, it's just moving the light. This is the shit we've been knowing. Like, this is absolutely nothing new. The people that are coming, and we don't ask no questions. So if you got money and you come to get free food, good for you. If you broke, good for you.
That's between your conscience and God, okay? I'm not here to judge. Do whatever you
want. I don't even care. Like, honestly, I want folks to have good food, and I feel like during this time that is sorely needed. Because one of the things, key parts about food insecurity that's very interesting is that so many people are in that space because they don't know how to cook. Ooh. And it's that really has been the most devastating part to me, because I've been involved with the food bank, so I'm familiar with how folks, I got folks around me that's how they supplement their life with the food bank. So I get it, and I used to, so I'm not tripping. Like, I get it. And then, okay, but there's only so much junk food you can buy. And when Trader Joe's was stopping folks from buying so much and all of this kind of stuff, honey, the people that we would feed that would come and say, I haven't eaten in 1, 2, 3 days because I ran out of food. And I was thinking, well, there's always beans and rice, and there's always da-da-da-da. And that's my mindset, because I grew up I'm the baby of 6, and my parents didn't play that. Everybody was cooking. Everybody had to know how to do that. And so therefore I do that with my kids too, but that's a privileged point of view.
Right. It is.
It's unfortunate that
it's crazy.
It's privileged.
Yeah. And that's the part that bugs me, that we can use access to food and privilege in the same sentence. Like, I don't understand how that works. And thinking about, like, all of my grandparents have passed on, but they didn't have the same struggles as other people's grandparents, because they knew how to cook, and they definitely ate they were good. If grandma didn't have if she had less than 4 or 5 dozen eggs in the refrigerator, there was a problem. Okay. And she always had oatmeal. She always had rice. She always had eggs. So there was always she had an ability to provide. But there's people who don't have that same thing. So you have our children, you have our seniors who are just out here basically struggling.
And that's we chose a focus, and I feel like most community kitchens are choosing focuses. And we started off with doing a couple of teen shelters and some efforts to feed students and stuff like that. But these seniors, because you're limiting their ability to go out. So they gonna cook, they gonna do that if they can, but then you limit their ability to transport. So we have a relationship with Southeast Senior Center, which is awesome. And 3 of us from the collective we do about 60 meals a day, 3 times a week. And it's just such a blessing, because you just know, and we're working on trying to figure out some kind of effort to be able to connect folks with fresh food and teach folks how to cook. Because look, it's cool to give you a meal, and I'm super duper glad to do it. But what I much rather do is show you how to cook this meal,
right,
so that you can then take those same techniques and then you can run with that. Because I was literally just thinking about that egg thing. Like, if I can make about 15 things with eggs.
Girl, I used to joke with her, but I text my aunt, because my grandmother's passed away. I said, we had an egg shortage here. I text my aunt, I said, I bet we know who wouldn't be running out of eggs right now. She's like, not at all. And then she said, and guess what? I got 5 dozen in my refrigerator.
Listen, I'm telling you, I got 2 5 dozen cases in mine, because I wasn't trying.
I want to bring our next week's guest on just for the last few minutes. We could go on for hours, but I do want to be conscious of everybody's time. So we have our favorite guru.
I'm loving this conversation. Y'all, this is such a smart idea. I'm so glad y'all are doing this. It's so dope.
And we're excited to get into your brain next week.
Oh my
And
Yeah, that's a brain.
right. It is a brain.
Y'all
Yeah.
the ones. I've been like paying attention to you guys because like I operate such a small company and like I'm whatever, I'm a private chef, so I'm by myself. But the responsibility you guys have in your work for other people, I was just wondering and thinking about you all in terms of sort of how you recalibrating and thinking about decision making now, right? Like this, I think that like mechanism of like care for folks who are buying into your brands and your businesses is so critical now. And I don't know, it's such a scary thing in general, but I think right now this moment is sort of forcing people to rethink their value system and how they're acting in this work as employers.
It's such an interesting thing because I had just called Erika on Facebook, was that last week before last? She was saying that, down in Jacksonville, they were already back at it, and
Low key, they ain't never even stopped. They had a 5-second pause and they kept it pushing, okay?
yeah, see, here it's totally different because we're still in phase 1 and there's 4 phases. And I just heard from my assistant today that the phase 2 was supposed to start next Monday and then they pushed it back. So, and you have to qualify. Oh, you have to qualify? You have too many cases in King County. Oh, yeah, see, yeah.
Girl, we're on phase 2 here, and folks was down at the Lake of the Ozarks twerking and carrying on all day.
True.
Like it never happened, okay? And then the governors and the mayor's gonna say, "Can you self-quarantine?" No, they ain't.
But it's the same thing.
No, sir.
In Daytona Beach, they had it was like spring break.
Yeah.
Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
They lost their minds.
No.
We will I think people here have just gotten so comfortable as not listening to the government, not being conscious of other people's health. Mm-hmm. It's Florida, it's the Sunshine State. We're here to party. This is the party state. There are some that have locked themselves in their house, but it's a small percentage. The rest of them are like, I hear it every day when they come into the coffee shop. Oh, I can't wait till everything is lifted. They don't believe it.
Right.
They don't believe this is real.
And I'm not gonna lie, honestly, like personally, in my heart, like my quiet little spaces, I'm finding a lot of it hard to believe too. But what I know to be true is that I have a responsibility to my community and my family first. Family first. I have a 13-year-old. She's homeschooled now. She's in here virtual schooling. I'm not gonna bring that home to her. No. You know what I mean? That's just, I can't do that. And then I serve seniors. That's my next thing. I'm not around. I don't have any older people. All my folks are gone. But I serve seniors, and that food goes from me to them. I can't be out here wilding. So our plan, we will not open fully until all of the phases have been run through.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do takeout when we first open, communion in August. But yeah,
we need those dates because we can travel within the states. It's just that we cannot travel out the states. I won't be able to get to the Caribbean for another year. Yeah, that's gonna kill me because my blood is not happy about this at all. Because if you do fly out of the country, they will quarantine you for 14 days. Then your vacation is over.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite Seattle chef.
Oh,
William! Hey.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, God, he's so awesome.
William is amazing.
He's amazing. His little mind is, he's always doing all kinds of things on Instagram. If you guys are not following him, you need to follow him because
what's his tagline? Okay.
Oh, I'll have to look it up. Let me see.
We'll drop your Insta in the chat. We all need to be following you. And he's doing the catering thing now too in Seattle. Yeah, so ladies, I'm just so glad that we were all finally able to get together. I hate that it was something like this that brought us together, but I'm so happy And Teresa, we're super excited to have you on next week.
Yeah, it should be good.
Oh, wait.
I think it's such a good idea.
We got a couple. Let's see. What does that say for Chef
We got a
Vicky?
question. Here we go. How can one start a community kitchen? I have the space. Feel free to guide. I've reached out to the city to let them know that I'm available for an emergency or anything they need. But tons of red tape. Information is gold. And she
Okay.
said you
I
can
want to say that the one thing about this thing which makes it great is that this is the Wild West right now. I ain't asking nobody for this.
Right.
Chef Vic asked for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah, I mean, what they gonna do? What they gonna do? And I mean, we extended that to other things too, just because we just had to push it out, and because we got to keep going. So yeah, Vicky, I feel like what you just do is you just start small and do what you can. And I'm telling you, I feel like that's just where that faith you this whole thing is a faith walk.
Yeah.
And so you do this thing, and then that's where spirit meets you, and then you just y'all run together from there. So that's how we did it. We just went on social media and was like, hey, we're going to feed you for free. I think the first day we got like 150 people. So, like, yeah. That's really where it started. And then we asked for donations. We got donations. Our city came out with a grant. And they were really good about that grant. I want to say that there were large grants up to $10,000. You didn't have to do much to qualify. And then a lot of small businesses got it. Now, everybody can't get everything, but I felt like it was a good representation of folks. And then since then, we just continue to, like, every time something passed by. I mean, that first 3 weeks, all I was doing was sitting here applying for stuff. I was on it. You gotta be ready.
So you guys, before we close out, right?
Teresa has something.
We can go around and Teresa, then Kristi, and then we break it out. So what are you doing in the future? What should we be looking forward to besides Teresa next Tuesday, and then Kristi for life? Both of you guys for life. You guys are amazing. But what is your future schedules coming up?
Personally, I mean, work-wise, I've still been working.
Yeah.
But I've been doing a weekly talk on Afropunk in IG Live, 11 a.m. So next week is my last one, sort of scheduled, but I'll be sort of switching over to Black food folks after that. A lot of dope conversations, talk to Davida Davidson, talk to a bunch of really interesting people. So that's Mondays. And then I really hope people are thinking about Museum of Food and Drink. That exhibit has been 3 years in the making. We have, it's been so many man hours and brain hours and sacrifices made to make that exhibit happen. And it is going to open when outside opens up again. But just thinking about MoFad and that space, this exhibit, I'm telling you all, it is so gorgeous, and it's such a beautiful celebration of us and just what our work is and what our culture is, and it's just right. I mean, every test kitchen is in place, y'all. It's gonna be fantastic. So just work around that is sort of what I'm focusing on, and writing a lot. So.
I know you are. I know
Right.
you. Man, communion. Communion is where my focus is. Communion and me, taking care of me, loving me, healing me,
Yes, girl. All
being
of it.
gentle with me, all those, and then giving communion to our city and to this world, because I just am really excited about what we're doing.
Because it's time.
Yes, it's way time.
Yeah.
It's really time.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Awesome.
This was so good.
Oh, it feels good. Like my heart is beating so in a happy beat, And y'all are my sisters, and God, got tears in my eyes because I don't want this to end because I miss you so very much. People don't realize what women relationships are, especially when it comes down to culinary, how important it is to stick together. And as you said, Kristi, taking care of yourself. We talked. You all know this is what we talked about back in Tortola. And now 2020 is the year to take care of yourself. Because
Yeah.
if you can't take care of the rest of your family or your community,
Right.
you know, I think I'm learning that back over once again. I mean, it's a constant learning experience, which is life.
For sure.
But I just feel very proud that Shanita has taken the initiative to pull this all together, to bring us together. You guys, she's an amazing.
Yes.
You
And I
know,
just want to say thank you because I literally was just in a conversation with a Black chef earlier today and was just talking about how important it has been to have y'all in my life. You know, through you guys, I have met tens of maybe hundreds of Black chefs that I didn't even know existed. And this is so essential. Like, it's so essential because our community, we have a voice. We don't need to listen to no voice. We have it. And so just you bringing us together like this and the amount of people that are going to be blessed and have already been blessed by our union, just knowing that we exist is so amazing. Thank you so much. This is so wonderful.
Yeah.
if you think back to Culinary Wonders USA, did you ever think it was the stepping stones just to open so many doors? I had no money. It was just a $45 a month website that showcased Black chefs. I just wanted to meet as many.
You was like, I don't even got $25 to be paying for this.
You know, I had money, but at the same time, it was me so I could reach out after doing Ebony magazine and being in a room of 100 Black chefs. I had never even realized that there was that many Black chefs in the United States.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was 1996.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And from that point now, look at all the Black community culinary venues that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
And no one really realizes those stepping stones that we've all had to make to get to this point.
Not at all.
I think a lot of them have taken advantage. I mean, have not advantage, but have taken it for just not really thinking how important it is. I'm missing the word.
We all know what you're saying.
Yeah. They really need to dig down deep, and we got some humble, beautiful, amazing chefs out there, and then we have some that are not.
Right. And so that brings me to the end.
Yes.
I want to thank you guys all for watching. We appreciate you participating in the conversation with us this week. We will see you back here next Tuesday with Chef Teresa. If you're interested in having a conversation with us, inbox me and let me know so I can add you to the rotation. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Love you guys.